Hi teacher, good evening. My name is Jan Ramirez. I hope you're doing great. I am a student of the UTPL University, and in this video we'll talk about tips to teach objects, direct, indirect, and oblique. Okay, at first let's see what does object mean. The object is the person or thing affected by the action described in the verb. In other words, it's something or someone that receives the action. Objects are generally nouns or pronouns that answer WH questions such as what, where, when, who, why, and so on. An object can give and add more information to a statement, expression, or an utterance. For example, in the first case, Daniela kicks the ball. Daniela, the subject, kicks the verb, and the ball, the direct object, because the ball is receiving the action. It is being kicked by Daniela. In the other case, my brother sent a letter. My brother, the subject, sent verb in a letter. Is the direct object because it's receiving the action is being sent by my brother. So in both sentences, we can notice that the direct object gives more information to the statement or to the sentence. On the other hand, we have different types of objects. We have direct object, indirect object, and oblique object. Let's start with direct object. Direct object refers to the person or thing that receives the action directly. It directly receives the action of the verb. It can be a noun, a pronoun, but it's directly affected by the action of the verb. It answers the questions like what or whom after an action or transitive verb. For example, what did you buy last Monday? I bought a new car. A new car is the direct object because it's it's the thing that receives the action indirectly. The car is being bought by me. So let's see some tips to teach direct objects. In order to effectively teach this type of object, we have to notice if the direct object answers the question like whom and what. For example, in the sentence, Daniela cooked the dinner. We wonder, what did Daniela do? The dinner. So that answer, the dinner, is the direct object. Another important tip to effectively use and recognize direct object is noticing and understanding that the direct objects are followed by transitive verbs. For example, my younger brother sent a letter. Send is the transitive verb, and a letter is the direct object. On the other hand, indirect object refers to the person that receives the direct object. It tells to whom or for whom the action of the verb is done and who's receiving the direct object. It's not affected by the action of the verbs. Some tips to teach indirect objects. In order to effectively teach this type of object, we have to find which is the direct object. For instance, my brother sent my mom a letter. First, we notice which one is the direct object. Okay, a letter. And then we can easily notice that my mom is the indirect object because the indirect object is always located, after the transitive verb and before the direct object. That's the rule. It's like say, I give my mother flowers. My mother indirect object and flowers the direct object. On the other hand, another important tip to effectively use and recognize indirect objects is wondering whom the action is done to or for. For example, I gave my mother a beautiful gift. I ask myself or I wonder the next question. For whom or to who is the direct object being given? The answer is my mother or my mom. So that answer is also the indirect object in this case. On the other hand, we have oblique object. It refers to a grammatical relation proposed for a noun phrase clause. It also receives the direct object. For example, at the school desk. At the preposition, the school, the modifier, and desk, the oblique object. It's receiving the direct object. Tips to teach oblique objects. A nice tip to teach oblique objects is always remembering that modifiers are sometimes applied to the object of the preposition in order to give more information to the statements. For instance, in an amazing landscape. In the preposition, an amazing, the modifiers, and landscape. If I say only in an amazing, but in an amazing what? landscape. In this case, the oblique object is giving more information to this statement or to this short phrase, so that we can realize that the example is a prepositional phrase where the modifiers give more information to the utterance. Another relevant tip to understand oblique object is noticing that they are generally preceded by prepositions. They are often preceded by prepositions. For example, at midnight, at it's a preposition, at midnight is the noun or oblique object in this case. Or if I say at noon, at the preposition and noon the oblique object. So teacher, that was all for today. I hope you enjoy and like the video. Sorry for doing this too late and see you soon. Goodbye.